Good afternoon. My name is Can Komar. I'm from Steel Business Briefing, Turkey. We are at Erdemir Group today, and our guest is Dr. Cem Karakaş. He's the Chief Financial Officer of Erdemir Group, and we're going to ask some questions that our readers are wondering. What is Erdemir's view of the outlook for demand and prices in Turkey and rest of the world for this year?
Since last quarter last year in 2007, we all have seen a dramatic surge in the steel prices, both long and flat. Actually, the long prices was the leading actor in this game, and then the flat prices followed it, primarily because of the increased inventory levels in North America. It took some time for the flat prices to go up. We think these price increases were not demand-driven price increases, but more importantly, cost-driven price increases. The reference prices for iron ore and pellets are pretty much known to everybody right now, whereas the coke and the coal prices have been very volatile due to the force majeures that were declared by some of the major coal suppliers around the world. And the ferroalloy prices are as volatile as they have been since 2007, the beginning of 2007. Since the beginning of January, in the Eastern Mediterranean basin, which we are located, the price increases picked up pace. And I don't think we have reached a plateau yet. Especially in long steel, there is somewhat more significant room to go. But in flat steel, I think we still have some room to go as well. Although there are fears of recession, and actually not fears, but there is a fact of recession, yes, both around the world, and I think in Turkey as well. The demand seemed to be quite robust, especially for 2008. Now, what's going to happen in 2009 is of a mystery to us. Especially for Turkey, the steel consuming sectors are on an intensive growth pattern. For example, the domestic demand in both white goods and automotive has been shrinking since beginning of 2007.
The local demand.
The local demand, yes. I mean. The production increased by 14%. This is primarily because of the export, yes, markets growth. When you look at the white goods, again, as I've said, the local demand has been shrinking. Actually, last year, last January and February, when compared to the year earlier in 2006, the demand shrank by between 20 to 30% in various white goods household appliance segments. When you compare 2008 to 2007, there was a further 20% decrease, which is a massive decrease actually. But white goods production is still increasing. A prime growth area in the Turkish steel consuming sectors was the pipe and tube manufacturers. Last year, out of a total demand of around 13 million tons, 3.5 million tons we estimate was consumed by tube and pipe manufacturers. This year we expect it to go up to 4.5%. To Erdemir, this year, either through the local Turkish players, tube manufacturers, or through the other tube manufacturers around the world, we started selling to markets that we haven't been before, like India, China, and Brazil. Last year, the shipbuilding industry consumed around 500,000 tons of plates. We expect it to go up to around 800,000 tons in a matter of 4 years.
My next question will be, by how much do prices need to rise in order to cover the increased cost of production?
For players like Erdemir or Isdemir or Kardemir, for example, another Turkish mill, the hot metal cost is expected to increase between $240 to $300 per ton. So the price increases should be at least in line with such an increase. When you look at the price increases that have been made in Turkish market and in the Eastern Mediterranean basin since the beginning of the year, I think the players active in this Eastern Mediterranean basin we're able to command enough price increases to cover most of the either existing or expected cost increases in 2007 and pass it through their customers.
What do you think that, in viewing the other companies building flat product capacity in Turkey, what is your view of the market? Can the market support all this extra capacity? How great is the danger of excess capacity affecting the Turkish steel industry at the moment?
When you look at the larger economies around the world, either larger than Turkey or around the size of Turkey, it is one of the most porous markets with probably one of the least barriers to entry. You can sell to this market anytime you like without almost any barriers to entry, at least from a regulation or a tax perspective. So the players who are contemplating or who are undertaking at the investments in Turkey are already selling into Turkey. I actually welcome steel investments here in Turkey because first of all, these players are already in the market. If they firmly establish themselves into the market, they will actually be more sensitive to the needs and the requirements of the market. If all these investments that are actually declared, not rumored but declared, would take place, by 2014, the total production, flat steel production in Turkey would be around 23 million tons, whereas the demand for that particular year would be around 19 million tons.
What will be the targeted capacity of Erdemir Group in 2008, this year, next year, the year after, and up to 2014?
When OYAK has taken over Erdemir Group in the beginning of 2006, the flat steel production was around 3.6 million tons. The slab production was around 3 million tons, or the slab capacity. As of today, with the new slab caster put in operation last month in February, our slab capacity in Erdemir Group is about 8.5 million tons. We have an additional 2.5 million ton billet capacity. Mid-2009, we are planning to ship wider products to our northern plant from the southern plant and start supplying to the Turkish automotive industry roof and hood materials.
Up to 1650 millimeters.
That is correct.
Okay.
We are considering putting an electric arc furnace in our Iskenderun facilities. We have an excess hot metal capacity in our Iskenderun plant. This electric arc furnace will be an interesting one. It will be charged not only with scrap, but by 50% with hot metal from the blast furnaces, which will provide us with the capability to produce higher grade, flat steel grade material, liquid steel from electric arc furnace. With regards to our production capabilities or capacities in 2014, we will definitely have an increase in the rolling mill capacities by that time, especially hot strip mill. The Iskenderun hot strip mill, with a few little minor investments, is able to go up to first 4.5 million tons and to 5 million ton level. We have shut down our number one blast furnace, Ayşe, in our northern plant, which has been in operation since 1965. We are replacing it with a larger capacity blast furnace. It will be in operation by the end of this month, and that blast furnace will provide us with additional hot metal capacity. We are considering to build new converters in the northern plant. This is in a consideration stage, but I think by 2014 we will most probably have new converters, new coke batteries in the northern plant as well.
Dr. Karakaş, we thank you very much for valuable information you gave us about Erdemir and about the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Komar.